they're a team having a very good season. Top 3 in the championship, another good result away at Wraith. So we know they're organised, we know they're hard working, we know they possess quality. I have enormous respect for Jim and his managerial skills and how he galvanises his team. So it's another challenge. It's a cup game. I can't think of an opposing player that wouldn't enjoy coming to a stadium like Ibrox on a playing surface like Ibrox. So they'll enjoy it. They'll be invigorated by it, and we have to match the challenge and deliver a performance, same as always.
What are the advantages perhaps of having a cup game now in the middle of the run you've been on and the games that you've had of late?
The advantages, it's a cup game. It's the focus of the next one. We've had a bad result against Hearts. The run we've been on, I'm not so sure about that comment, but it's a cup game. So the focus has to be on, we want to, every tournament you go into, every competition, you want to go as far as possible. Got the final last year. It's easy to say unfinished business. That would be disrespectful to teams Morton first of all, and hopefully teams you face after that. Our job is to get into the hat for the draw for the next round. That's the only job. Jim would be saying to his players, go there. The pressure's on Rangers. They're at home, expected to win all normal cliches. The fact of the matter is, it's a Scottish Cup. We want to win it ideally. So all our focus is on that game.
You've spoken over the last 7 days about players at Rangers having to deal with the expectation that comes with the club if you come here. Yeah. How would you assess the players are dealing with the challenges in front of them and that focus?
Yeah, it's just, Walter Smith always said to me, you only have 2 or 3 games away from a major crisis. That's life at Rangers. You won't get used to it. So you see what he said. He's a very wise man, Walter. So he knows the club well. He knows Glasgow very well. So you heed his words. It's as simple as that. You win 2 games, everyone's slapping you in the back. You lose 2 games, and then we're going to hang you. That's the nature of it. Just get on with it.
How important is Frank McParland to what you've built here and what you are building here?
Frank is one of my comments. I've said time and time again. His track record speaks for itself. His track record is outstanding. The latest one to see Scott Hogan go to Villa, another gem, one of many that Frank McParland has signed. And there'll be no shortage of taker for someone of his quality, for his services. So we're lucky to have him. He's one of the very best at what he does. He's on holiday in Dubai, enjoying a pina colada at the moment, I'm sure, by the pool. So I'll leave him to it. Do you expect, or in your eyes, having not discussed it immediately with him in the here and now, that he is part of what you're doing long term? He's ahead of our recruitment. As I say, it was a mischievous story yesterday. Where it emanated from, I have no idea. I don't know where it emanated from. I'd like to know. But no, far from it. He's back, and he's at the Heart. I think he's going to the Hearts game on Saturday, and I think he's coming to our game, and he's travelling again to look at players next week. So he's as busy as ever.
Do we clear the mark? You fully expect Frank to be here for next week, next month?
Again, I don't understand where these stories are coming from. I'm apparently being linked to clubs and Frank's going, and this. It's just nonsense again coming out. I'd love to know where it does start from. I would love to know the origination of certain stories. But as I say, apart from that, no.
After the last couple of weeks, the defeat at Hearts and the draw against Ross County, are you feeling any extra pressure when there is a bit of...
You're manager of Rangers. Rangers are expected to win every game they go into. That's the nature, that's the history of the club. So to refer back to Walter's comment, you're 2 or 3 games away from a crisis. You draw a game, it's nearly a disaster. You lose a game, it is a disaster. That's it. Don't listen to the radio, don't read the papers, and just get on with your job. And the job is here. Players have worked really hard all week. All credit to the players. They're focused. Many of them are young guys. People like Kenny, Lee, they know they're experienced. But other guys have to learn. It's part of playing at Rangers. It's character building. You're a better person for coming through it. So they have to enjoy that time.
When you look at the season up to now, do you think you've been as competitive as you should?
Yeah, as I say, our job, we want to win every game of football we go into. So I'm not going to talk about where we are. Let's see where we are come May. Let's see where we are. It's always been a comment. Let's see where we are come May, and then we can discuss it.
You've spoken about being second, and that's the target. Is it about being a competitive second or just second? If you look at the gap at the moment that Celtic are ahead, you're looking at Rangers, Aberdeen actually being closer to the bottom of the table.
I think, as I say, I'm not going to get drawn into that. I've spoken so many times about that. The fact of the matter is, I don't think there's a different prize for coming second by 1 point or coming second by 2 points or vice versa. I don't think there's a different prize as far as I'm aware. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm just saying the job is for us to finish as high as we can in the league, getting as many points as we possibly can, 1 game at a time. And come the end of the season, come May the 20th, then we can discuss it.
Mark, you spoke to Rob Keenan this week. There was a report that he was considering his future after being...
Absolute nonsense. The report, again, another mischievous report. Rob's considering why he hasn't got his shirt on. He didn't play, he wants to play. His job, Rob is a top young professional. His job is to get his shirt back and he wants it. You know, he's played nearly every minute of every game, Rob Keenan. He's an outstanding young player and he's frustrated that every player wants to play. His only resolve is getting back in the team. The other bit is absolute nonsense.
He spoke to you about his determination to stay and fight for his place.
Players every day. They're our players. This is what people have to realise. You know, we speak to players all day, every day. So absolutely, Rob's focus is on playing for Rangers. Absolutely, and that won't change.
Can you give us an update on the Kenny Miller contract situation?
No, nothing's changed. Nothing. The dialogue's going on between Kenny and the club, and fingers crossed that turns out well.
Would you expect him to sign a new deal?
I hope he signs a new deal. I hope he does. But as I say, that's out of my control, that one now.
Mark, you were talking about Walter's words on the environment of being Rangers manager, and it is a different environment to a lot of places. How much of what goes on and surrounds the job do you accept, and how much of it do you feel is difficult to deal with as a manager?
It's not difficult, as I say. It's I think it's quite unique. I'm told this is the Glasgow Fishbowl as well. I keep being told that you don't understand it. Yes, I do. I've been here 18 months. You do it 24/7. Every single day is Rangers. That's the nature of it. And it is very intense because it's a huge club. So there's no problem that way at all. But you have to get on with it. You know, as I say, some of the stuff you hear on the radio, some of the stuff you read is almost farcical. But from my point of view, as I say, it's a challenge of being Rangers manager and playing for Rangers. So we have to get head down, enjoy the responsibility, and as I say, hopefully emerge better for it.
You're managing Rangers in the top division in different circumstances to other previous Rangers managers have had to deal with. Do you think enough has been done to sort of take that into account when looking at where you are?
I think I get frustrated, if I'm honest with you, sometimes when people talk about unprecedented. They use the word unprecedented for one side of the coin and not the other. So Rangers, you know, I understand the winning mentality here. Of course I get it. I fully understand the history of this club is magnificent. But there has been an unprecedented move to the lowest division to come back again. So it is an unusual time. The club has to build. We've spoken about patience. We have to build on strong foundations, and people get bored hearing the same rhetoric. But patience takes time by the very nature of what it suggests. So patience takes time, and we have to let the club build and get back. We're not going to do it overnight. We're not going to do it in 3 or 6 months. It does take time. So if you're going to use the word, not you personally, but if people are going to use the word unprecedented, understand the implications of that word as well.
I was going to say, has there had to be a sort of an adjustment within the club itself? Because I hear you explaining that situation, and I take on board where you are, but then you've had other elements of the club at the start of the season. We're talking about going for the title, going for 55 and stuff. Has there been a sort of an adjustment gone on around the club to say, you know what, Mark's right, we do need to be more patient about rebuilding?
Yeah, I hope so. All I can do, and David and Jim and the staff and the players as well, is send out a consistent message that it will take time. We're not, as I said to you before, we're not going to go and spend £20-30 million on a player. Those days are certainly not here for a long while now. So our job is to build, and it takes time. And as I say, it's frustrating, it's tedious, but that's the nature of it sometimes.
So would you like the fans to be a bit more patient?
No, the fans have been magnificent, and generally been magnificent. And as I say, I was asked about their reaction last week. They paid to watch Rangers win. They work hard all week. They want to come along and see Rangers win. They used to seeing Rangers win. So when they don't, they voice their discontent, and that's they paid their money. They're absolutely entitled to do that. Our job is to hopefully make sure that happens very rarely.
Do you feel you've still got the goodwill of the fans, Mark?
All I can do is I hope they see how hard we work as a group of players and staff. I hope they see our focus, our desire for the club to do well. Simple as that. I'm never going to comment and speak for the fans. I just hope very much they see what we do.
Does those external pressures around you affect you personally?
No, they can't do, can they? Don't be thin-skinned if you take this type of job. Just get on with the job. You know, you have your highs. It's all very well when you're winning a league or you're at cup finals and you take the plaudits. That's great. You can't have it both ways, or you have to have it both ways rather. Don't just have the good times. You've got to deal with the bad times as well. So or the difficult times. So as I say, all you can hope for, either way, good or bad, you hope you emerge better for it.
There's a radio story yesterday, Mark, saying you were down in London looking at a player.
I was talking to a coach. I can't look at a player. He's another club's player. I'll be breaking every rule in the book. So I was very keen to. No, I can't talk to a player. I can't talk to another club's player.
Out of contract player?
No, I was down seeing a coach. I was down meeting a coach who works at a club who knows a player that we might be targeting. That's it. Simple as that.
Could you bring an out of contract player in?
No, we're not. As I say, if a player becomes available, no. But right now we've got no plans to do so. It was nothing to do with that. It's planning for next season.
Mark, when you're talking about randomness earlier in the week and you're bringing up your stats, is there a particular message you're trying to get across to people and to the fans?
I've just been told next door and by some of the papers that the stats are irrelevant. I think anyone that thinks stats are irrelevant, and I mentioned to those, if they sit there and watch their paper sales fall by 50%, if they ignore that stat, they've got a problem. And that's the truth of it. Every business, every industry, you rely on stats. Not the be all and end all, it's part of the equation. But the stats are that if you look at a game, you have to look at it and you hope, as I say, when you normally have X amount of possession, X amount of chances, you'd like to think 9 times out of 10 you win a game of football. The simple fact is we dropped 2 points last week. So I'm not masking, I'm not papering over I'm just saying that we dropped 2 points. However, every other on a normal day, you'd like to think 9 times out of 10 you win that game of football.
Thank you, Mark.
Team news, injury, suspension?
Josh Windass, we hope will be okay. Other than that, we're just the normal, about Jordan and Nico.
Is Nico back in light training?
Yeah, he's jogging outside. Great to see him outside. He's enjoying that.